call this regularly scheduled meeting, actually that's been rescheduled. It's a regular meeting, but it's been rescheduled to today, the Harlingen City Commission, and which has been duly posted to order. And I'd like to ask Commissioner Richard Uribe to lead us in an invocation. Let's come right here.
I'm trying. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to speak on behalf of the mayor and the commissioners of all the families that have been affected by the rains of last week. And thank the first responders, city staff who have worked tirelessly to get this thing done, and know that everything that can be done is being done, and hope to put this behind us. So if you could please join me in prayer, and please keep those in mind. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I want to welcome everybody tonight. It's a great night as we canvass our vote and soon swear in Commissioner Uribe for his second term. But to begin with, the first thing we'll have to do is item 1, the appointment of a canvass committee to canvass the results of the City of Harlingen June 22nd, 2019 special runoff election, City Commission District 1. And since y'all did such a good job last time, I'd like to appoint Commissioner Leal and Commissioner De La Rosa to serve as the canvass committee.
Okay.
And meet with the city secretary to go ahead and go over the results of the election. Hopefully you'll be a little bit faster because you only have one election to cover instead of 3 and one district instead of 5. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this is, we'll have to bear with us as we wait a few minutes while the canvass committee goes through the results and comes back with a recommendation on the approval of the election. So we're going to kind of just, I asked if Commissioner Mesmar wanted to tell jokes last time. He said no. We'll just have to kind of sit here and bear with us as we wait on the canvass committee. Thank you.
So I'm hoping that there have been vast improvements since the last time. But just in the meantime, 400 grams.
I think I've seen some of that.
That's very helpful.
3 times a day.
Every 6 hours.
That's the prescription.
Yes. And
Yeah, I used to prescribe the 600 and the 800 and then when they made the account, it's 200. That's
she did the two. So she did a crown. She did a crown. She did two consecutive songs. And the other people did the same time. And it was like,
Jason's daddy, salads, everybody getting the year, healthy eating. Little lettuce wrap with salads. Hey, why are you crying for this?
he said, take it. Okay.
Yeah. Now I do. There's times that my neighbor, his expedition is really good. Oh, man. Hey, it ain't true. Too much water. Got my new Camry. You know it's gonna rain, right? No, I think the predicted rain for today. No Freedom House? No, the Freedom Festival. It's a really cool day. Tonight.
That was fast. Good for you guys. All right, so with the return of the Canvass Committee, we'll go to item 2, which is consideration of possible action to approve the resolution declaring the special runoff election results of June 22nd, 2019 for City Commissioner, District 1. Do we have the report of the Canvass Committee and the recommendation?
Okay, so we reviewed the ballots, and the official, or the unofficial vote was 171 for J.J. Gonzalez and 268 for Richard Uribe, and our canvassing of votes does confirm that, so we are approving the count as presented.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the resolution declaring the election results as presented?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. And Commissioner Uribe is declared the winner. So item 3 is the swearing in and the oath of office to the elected official. So I think we're going to have Judge Magdalena Lopez. Welcome, Judge. Welcome back. Thank you for coming to help us out tonight.
Whenever I can help you, I'm here to help you. It is my honor to swear in Richard Uribe today. And he gave me that honor when he called me and asked me if I would do it. I said, of course, without a doubt, I would do it. I've known Richard since he was about 8, 9 years old. That's how long I've known Richard. Him and my son would play soccer together. And so they would come and we'd have tournaments, and many times at their tournaments, they always knew to bring an extra clean pair of chones with them. Okay? Because after the first game, they'd come to the house, I'd send people into the showers we had 2 bathrooms, they would take showers, I'd get their uniforms, and I would wash them, and they would be in their chones watching TV until, they would relax for a while, they would eat, and then, of course, we'd go back to the next game. So that's how well I know Richard. That's pretty good, right? I know his family, his mom and his dad were always very involved in his life, very much of a good family unit that they had together. We traveled together. We would go to Matamoros, we would go to different Monterrey, that's right, Monterrey, at different tournaments. And of course, they'd always beat us because the Mexicano players were always a lot better than us players. But we loved it and we enjoyed it, and we went and we did all these things together. I've always known Richard to be a very hard worker. Even when he was in high school, he always worked. Even after he got out of high school, I've always known him to be a very hard worker. And I've always known him to be very much of a family man. And you can tell that also by his children. He's teaching them, how to work. He's teaching them to be family people. And so, that is something that I know about him, and so when he told me he was running, I said, hey, you're doing real well. You're going to do very well. And so then he won, but he didn't have any opponent the first time. And then the second time, this time around, he did have an opponent, And so he had to learn lots of things about campaigning and all that, but he was up to the match, and he did it. And let me tell you, his family was there all the way. His mom, his children, they were block walking, they were calling and all that. And again, they're a very united family is what it tells us. So, he didn't win without a runoff, so then they continue, and they worked real hard, and they continued working, and all that work paid off because Richard won this election. Now, he did not win by himself, okay, because he had a lot of people helping him, but there were a lot of people that believed in him. There was a lot of people that were willing to do the work and put their necks out there, and say, no, I'm going to support this guy because I think he's the best one for the office. So that's the Richard I know, and I think, he's going to be there for another, 3 years? Right? 3-year terms. And you'll have a wonderful commissioner, a commissioner that will ask questions, a commissioner that will try to take into account the best interests of this city. So with that, Richard, come on over so I can swear you in. You have and your family.
Yeah, I think, Commissioner, if you want to invite your family up to stand around you while you get sworn in.
You guys made this happen. His mom too. Come on down. The price is right. Yes, your whole family. You come on up.
Come on, Joseph, you're part of that.
He's my favorite son-in-law.
The only son-in-law? Okay, why don't you come in closer? I don't bite. Okay. Richard, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, your name,
Richard Uribe,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of City Commissioner
of City Commissioner
of the State of Texas
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of the state.
and of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. As I told you all the first time, the only thing I know how to do is work. I'm gonna work real hard. I'm gonna continue to work real hard. I really enjoyed the last 3 years working with a great commission, great mayor. I look forward to continuing to do that to the best of my ability. So, appreciate you all very much.
Mayor, I'm going to have to excuse myself because I'm going to be swearing in somebody in Santa Rosa. So I don't want you to think I was rude or anything.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here tonight, Judge. Listen. All right, congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
Item 4 is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of April 17th, 2019, special meeting of May 15th, 2019, regular meeting of June 19th, 2019. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Consent agenda items 5A through 5H. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 6, consideration possible action to approve the Harlingen Economic Development Corporation HEDC budget amendments for fiscal year 2018-19. Rodell.
Good afternoon, Mayor. City Commissioners. In our last board meeting, the EDC looked at the budget, and we made some amendments to the budget, which included increasing overall revenues by $1.7 million. A lot of that has to do with the sale of an asset that we've had for about 8 years. As you all know it as the University Center. And also, there was a slight reduction in sales tax revenues of $200,000. But as we've done in the past, when we've had to adjust revenues down, we've cut back on a lot of things. And in administrative costs, we cut back about $227,000 worth of administrative costs, a lot of it travel and marketing. And we've also cut back on hiring people. We didn't hire people until later on in the year. We held back just to make sure that we were cognizant of what the revenue stream was going to look like. So we've done really well in terms of managing the budget, and we've had some additional projects that have come in that are being offset by the increase in revenues as well. So basically, at this point, we're asking for an increase of $1.7 million in our budget in terms of revenues, but not necessarily in terms of expenditures, so that's a good thing. So, if there's any questions, it was in your packet. I can get into the detail on the line items.
Does anybody have any questions about the budget amendment? No. All right. Is there a motion to approve the budget?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7, consideration of possible action to accept or reject bids and award contract for Vestel Park Sports Lighting Project under bid number 2019-10 to the lowest responsible bidder and authorize the city manager to execute any related documents.
Yes, Mayor, City Commission. We requested bids for the purchase and installation of sports lighting for one soccer field at Vestel Park. The first round, when we advertised, we had no responses, so we rebid it and we received 2. And so staff's recommending to award the bid to the lowest responsible bidder and authorize city manager to execute any related documents. And the lowest bidder was Bright Star Electric in the amount of $168,000. I'm sorry, $147,000, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I was looking at the option, or
So
alternate.
what's the CDBG budget for this?
The CDBG budget was, what we budgeted for the project, let's see, it was 130, I'm sorry, let's see, 120,000. And so what we're doing is we're making up the difference through parks, through the CDBG budget adjustment, and through Healthy Harlingen.
Is there a savings by going with the LED over the HD? Long term?
No.
Operation, maintenance,
Cost of it.
quality of light?
It's about 21,000.
Correct, I know that. I'm just,
So the LEDs typically have a longer life expectancy.
correct,
And the light is a cleaner, brighter light.
correct,
That's why we replaced the ones on the expressway.
correct.
So to answer your question, Commissioner, potentially there could be some savings on the utility side because it is going to be lower the utility costs on LEDs as opposed to HDs. And on the maintenance side as well.
Can we cost justify that? I know I'm bending here, but we're still in this budget, not next
I'm
year's.
looking at it. So he's asking if you have another $21,000.
We don't,
We don't.
no.
And if we waited 2 weeks and hopefully Healthy Harlingen can kick in some more?
If that's the wish of the commission, you know,
But isn't a smarter move long-term?
Pardon?
Isn't that the smarter move long-term?
That's why I'm asking. I know it's a
So
smarter
if that's the
move.
wish of the commission, we can certainly, it would still be Bright Star, right? It would just be
Yes.
the option 2?
Correct.
I'm all in favor of LEDs. Less
we-
maintenance, less electricity,
But
it
we
pays
can-
off in the long
and we can
run.
always do car washes and bake sales.
And what happens if we wait 2 weeks to a next meeting? I mean, I'm just saying, do we need to do this today?
We can figure this out.
We can figure this out?
If that's what the wish of the commission.
Capital item.
Yes, so then I'll make the motion that we accept option 2 from Bright Star Electric for $168,000.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign.
Opposed?
LEDs it is. Number 8, consideration and possible action to accept or reject bids and award the contract for the Victor Pool ADA ramp project under bid number 2019-11 to the lowest responsible bidder, and authorize the city manager to execute any related documents.
Yes, Mayor, the City Commission, we did request bids for the construction of the AD ramp at Victor Pool in accordance with the engineering plans and specifications that we hired a professional to do those. The first round, we had no responses. Second bid, we rebid it, and we received 2 responses. Staff's recommendation is to award the bid to the lowest responsible bidder and authorize city manager to execute all related documents. The lowest bidder was South Texas Pools in the amount of $42,665.
What's the budget on this?
Okay, the budget on is $21,109, 48. And so we're receiving funds from Valley Baptist Legacy Foundation, which was the Harlingen Wellness Coalition, and then the difference also would come from Parks, from our operational budget.
How much are we receiving from the foundation?
7,000.
So you're taking $15,000 out of operation?
12,717.
I can tell you that the Parks Department budget is running very lean. They said, thank God we don't have any LED lights in this project.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the lowest responsible bidder, South Texas Pools?
So moved.
Second?
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 9.
Thank you.
Consideration of possible action to declare 17 motor vehicles and 1 trailer as surplus property and authorize the Harlingen Police Department to auction off the vehicles and trailer through govdeals.com auction website. Chief?
Mayor, Commissioners, these are vehicles that we've had for a few years. Some have come from seizures, but most are fleet vehicles that have just exceeded their capacity at the police department and have a series of breakdowns, whatever, and we're just looking to get authorization to go ahead and sell them on GovDeals, similar to something we did last year. And the list is there in your packets.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt the staff's recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 10 is the consideration of possible action to approve a resolution in support of the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, amending the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA.
Mayor, Commissioners, I received a request from the Mexican Consul Cue Vega, asking if we would pass a resolution, City Council would consider passing a resolution in support of the USMCA. So I put this on the agenda for your consideration, and you gentlemen can consider the resolution in support of it.
We also asked the city manager to to communicate with the district directors for our federal legislative delegation, our 2 senators and our representatives, and they are also in support of this resolution. So is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 11, board appointments.
We have the added item, right?
Yes, we have
That's
the
on the-
addendum item here.
The supplemental item?
The appointments on the MPO or,
No, we have one more item there. We added another.
no,
The Family Crisis Center.
but that's,
That's an addendum item. We added
yeah,
another.
but it's not a board appointment.
This is just consideration possible to approve a request from them to declare their center an emergency shelter. They need that for an application for a form that needs to complete.
I don't understand why not.
I'm sorry.
Why are we not going forward with the item 11, board appointments? Item 11, board appointments. Anybody have any board appointments? Okay, there being no board appointments, we'll go next to item 12, which is an executive closed session pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code to consult with the city attorney in regards to the MPO bylaws. Do we need an executive session?
No. Well, yes.
Okay. All right, was there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to meet with our attorney in executive session. There will be some potential action items when we return. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of executive session at 6:12 p.m. And go to item 13, which is a consideration and possible action to approve and ratify the adoption of the MPO bylaws by the Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Policy Board as discussed in executive session. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Item 14 is consideration and possible action to appoint Mayor Chris Boswell as a primary member from the city of Harlingen, the Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization, Transportation Policy Board, with City Manager Dan Serna appointed as the primary alternate member to said board, retroactive effective June 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 15, consideration possible action to appoint a primary member and alternate from the City of Harlingen, the Technical Advisory Committee, TAC of the Rio Grande Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Mayor, Commission, I would, for your consideration, I would recommend Gabe Gonzalez as the member and the alternate with Carlos Sanchez, both assistant city managers.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. I'm going to skip item 16 and go to item 17, which is a consideration of possible action to approve a request from Family Crisis Center, Inc. to declare their center as an emergency shelter for survivors of domestic violence and their children who are in danger in their own home.
Mayor, we received this request from the Family Crisis, and this is part of their application process, and staff is recommending approval.
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign, motion carries. Item 16, citizen communication.
Receive the law. Good evening, Commissioners. I did clock myself, and I wrote out my comments. I'm about 3 minutes. Would that be all right? I will try and speak fast.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Did you give us your residence address?
3005 Jacaranda Drive.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to share with you this evening a concern I feel should be on your radar, which is the possible rail transport of liquefied natural gas and ultralight crude shale oil through our town related to the new fossil fuel development that's planned for the Port of Brownsville. You may know that there are 3 LNG export terminals as well as a condensate upgrader facility that are planned for the port. Most of this is going to be for export, but some of the LNG is designated for domestic use, and there was an executive order signed by President Trump in April that allows for it to be transported by rail. The condensate upgrader facility will bring the crude down from West Texas. There is a pipeline planned, but it's possible that if construction outpaces development of the pipeline, or if there's additional capacity required that you're going to have crude oil trains coming through town in addition to the gas and stuff that already comes from the Port of Harlingen. Hazardous materials, as you see them now, are generally transported by manifest, which means it's mixed in with the other cargo. But these are going to be unit trains, which are single cargo trains that can be up to a mile long. The frequency with which they would travel may be about 2 a day, and the hazardous nature of their cargo greatly increases the likelihood of an accident and the likelihood that such an accident would be catastrophic. Just a simple internet search of 2019 train derailments in Texas reveals that there have already been 3 incidents big enough to make the news, including a train carrying ethanol that caught fire in Fort Worth in April. It required a significant evacuation of nearby homes. Now, we all know that we can't regulate rail transport locally, but there are still actions that the city can take to address the risk. The first is preventative. I would suggest that you explore all legal and regulatory options to intervene in the permitting processes for these facilities. In particular, there's an air permit that's now before TCEQ for the condensate upgrader facility. At a minimum, I would urge you to push for regular inspection and upkeep of the tracks and rail bridges, push the rail company and the companies at the port to create an emergency response plan that is appropriately funded and practiced with fidelity. There are towns that have practiced mock derailments, and then you should, in particular, request that funding and training for Harlingen's first responders is included. Lastly, I think that you should notify all residents, business owners, and public institutions, such as the library and Bonham Elementary in particular, within the half-mile evacuation zone of the possibility of train derailment and the necessity of creating an evacuation plan. And then also ask the companies to hold a town hall where they explain the risks of these trains to the population.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, being no other citizen communication, we're at the conclusion of our meeting, and so we'll be adjourned. Thank you all.